because I do the same thing. I train at 5.
Yeah.
I even get fuck faces on the internet that when I'm sighting in, like, here's my issue. I go post videos of me sighting a gun in, and the internet doesn't understand the point of aim, point of impact at 10 yards for an AR, 1.9 inches below.
50 yards zero.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on paper.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So I'm indoors doing something, and it's like, oh man, you're not even 10 yards. Put it back at 50. Oh, dickhead, we're in indoor range. First, second off, I'm just sighting this in. Just put a sight on it. It says new scope on the fucking tag.
What is this thing that you speak of the internet? Who are these people?
Oh man, you'll find out as soon as we
Who
get
are
this
these
video
people?
posted. You're gonna find out big time.
Listen, if you're a troll, don't troll me, bro. I'm petty. He'll tell you I'm petty. Don't troll me, bro.
Petty as fuck. That's
Don't troll me. Listen, we all here to learn and to learn from each other. Let's be respectful about that, bro.
That's
I know
for
some
sure.
of you guys can't help it, but don't troll me, bro.
Okay, so I wanted to get into this little quick segment. We talked about self-defense earlier. Of course, I'm a big proponent of self-defense. You know, I'm 5 tenets of self-defense. That's my plug for my Tactical Citizen TV.
Yes, sir.
Merchandise coming soon.
Yes, sir.
Basically, and it goes along to what we were talking about throughout the whole podcast was, you know, I've always been preaching this since I went to a little, I don't know what you call it, I guess conference or something about it, but the 5 tenets of self-defense. And a lot of it is, and I'm going to get into what people say to you as far as reasons why they're buying, right? And in conversation. So I normally tell people the 5 tenets, and the 5 tenets have to do with the actual law, the courtroom, right? Because we all have ideas of what we think is going to be self-defense.
Right.
85 to 95% of it is false, right? Most people have a misconception. So the 5 tenets are innocence, imminence, proportionality, avoidance, and reasonableness, right? So innocence, did you start it? If you did, you finna catch a manslaughter charge, period, right? Imminence was the threat of death or great bodily harm right there, right now. They can't say, I'm fixing to go get a gun. You can't say, I shot him because he said he was going to go get a knife and kill me. That shit don't work, right? Proportionality. If they've got a small stick and you got an AR-15, it's going to be an issue.
Yeah,
right?
you shit out of luck.
Right, you shit out of luck. Right, avoidance, which is most of the one that gets people caught up in the 5 tenets, is did you have the opportunity to avoid this situation? And most of the time when we get this, that is the number one that hangs people up. I've talked to attorneys, judges, all that. Okay, and then the last one is reasonableness. Would a regular person have done what you did? Right? Them last 2 get people the most, right? And then, like, I know people, you know, that have manslaughter charges, murder charges and stuff because they didn't start it. The threat was there. You know, the proportionality was there. That dude was trying to pull a gun. He was trying to pull a gun. Avoidance. Yeah, you chose to be there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or you had an opportunity to leave and didn't leave. Right? Because once you bypass that opportunity, it's over with now. Yeah. Right? Or reasonableness. Somebody else really wouldn't have shot that motherfucker like that. No. So it's kind of like most of the things that I hear people, and I used to get asked questions like that. I don't know if you ever get asked questions, but you know, most people will see a video, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, and say, "Oh, what would you do in this scenario?" 99% of the time, they never like my answer. Yeah. Right? You're in a gas station and they're robbing the front, and you know they want me to say that I'm going to shoot the shit out of them. But my first question is, well, where's the exit? Yeah. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, am I at the back or the front of the store? Is he waving it in my face or just the teller's face? Did he ask for his money or my money? You see what I'm saying? Like, and they're like, you're being too technical. I'm like, no, I'm actually thought processing this shit out. Because, hey, if I'm at the back of the store and there's an exit sign that says exit right here, avoidance. Yeah. It's there. See what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, I'm at that level where I'm trying to get people to think about this and, like, hey, look, there's only really a very few scenarios where you fixing to get this self-defense shit.
Right. No, the problem with that is, too, we live in a society now where everybody want to shoot somebody. Yeah. So when you don't give them that answer, oh, yeah, it's like, oh, then why carry a gun if you're not going to do nothing?
Exactly, because that's the protection. The protection is a defense, not an offense, right? So, and I think that's where a lot of people get that wrong. And self-protection is a defensive strategy, not an offensive strategy. Now, it's defense turns into offense at a certain point, but it's first defensive, right? That's why they say defensive pistol courses, right? Because you're not trying to draw it offensively, because that would make you the aggressor, right? I think it also comes down to a lot of times, and I've heard this from attorneys, police, all kind of stuff. The prisons and jails are filled up with people that didn't really want to do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like if they had the chance, or they, just in that moment, boy, if they could get that one moment back, they would have never done it. Right? There are a few of them in there that really wanted to. Yeah. Right. I know I got a couple of partners that's in prison now, and they really wanted to shoot that cat.
Free the bros.
Right. So at the end of the day, some of them to me was justified. That's hood shit, and then some of them, man, he was in the wrong. I got to go ahead and tell him that's my partner. Yeah. Man.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? He was in the wrong. So, and I think that a lot of people talking about self-defense use the gun as the equalizer more than the brain. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Because I'm not physically adept to fight like that, I'll just go get this gun and keep going to the same bougie-ass little hood rat spot I'm going to. Yeah. When I really need to up my game and go somewhere over here. You know what I'm saying? And change my environment. Yeah. Right? And a lot of times that, that's the first thing the police will ask you. What you doing over in this area this time of night? Right? So that let me know, guess where I'm not. Right. The environment I'm supposed to be.
As I got older, I started, when you're younger, you do anything, you go anywhere, you think you're going to be here forever. Right. Now, if I feel like I got to carry a gun to go a place, I probably would avoid it now. Yeah. When I was younger, I didn't care. Right? Yeah. But if I feel like, the first thing I got to think about when I'm going that place, let me get my gun. Maybe I shouldn't be there. Yeah. Though I'm going to have a firearm on me anyway. Yeah. But
if I feel like I need this gun, like I should have it on me right now, that's when I know this is where I want to be. Correct. Right. And I'm like that all the time because I tell people 100% of the time, man, listen, at this point, in this stage in my gun, let's call it journey, right? Boy, I hope nobody fuck with me. Yeah. Because I'm not trying, because I know now I'm to the point that instinctively you'll get center mass shit, right? Whereas before, I might hit you in the shoulder, it might have been something different, but now I know it's a definite death on the doorstep, right? So, and it's something that I don't know that I can actively control my brain in that moment to not, fire like that, right? Because with competitive shooting, with training and shit, you're bullseye, headshot, bullseye, chest, right? Even, my wife will tell you that, hell, I go to the range and people will say, oh, you missed. No, dickhead, I was shooting for his shoulder. Right. I was shooting for his forearm. I was shooting for the leg. I was shooting for this and that because sometimes in a situation, if I can disarm them, I'm going to try to disarm them. You know what I'm saying? If I feel confident in whipping out and hitting them in the shoulder, knowing they got a knife, I'd rather do that. And a lot of times they tell you, hey, dead man tell no tales. He'll come around and sue you. Man, I'd rather pay that and be found guilty and have to pay that motherfucker a bunch of money than go to jail on a manslaughter charge or something like that, man. You can have that shit. I don't give a fuck. But
I think a lot of people will tell you what they would do in any situation, any scenario. And most of the time, those people wouldn't do shit. Right. They'll freeze. Yeah. And you've seen it. Like, they'll freeze, right? So, I don't talk about stuff like that. You do what you got to do. Right. It's the flight or fight response. Your body going to kick in one way or another, right? Handle your business. Yeah. Whatever way you decide you got to do it, handle your business. Yes. I know what I'm going to do.
Kind of like they say that the same adrenaline that you have when you get hyped up about birthday and cake and stuff like that is the same adrenaline that when you get butterflies and you're nervous. Yeah. It's nothing different. Yeah. Right? It's just a mindset that's different. Right?
But a lot of people will tell you, I get that all the time, especially working in the gun. Oh, I would do, and I would. Stop watching videos, bro. That's not what. People, the problem here is this: a lot of people not realistic about things, right? And you don't know what you'll do until you're in that situation. If you've never been in a situation, you can only hope how you would react. You don't know how you're gonna react.
So it's kind of like me coming from a pugilistic background, martial arts, boxing, stuff like that. I've always, even when I'm looking at people that doing fast draws, stuff like that, getting the shot off, and I'm like, yeah, that works for every scenario except for when the motherfuckers sneak up behind you, put you in a fucking chokehold. Right. Right, because you're not practicing like this.
But here's the thing, though, that goes back to the original one, the situational awareness. Yeah. How did you allow that to happen, right? Right.
Well, I think a lot of times they don't put the situational awareness into the gun training. Right, they'll do the accuracy and they'll do the draw and they'll do the timing and speed, but they don't do the well, I walk into this restaurant, my back's to the wall, not to the door. Right, or I'm situated close to an exit, or I'm situationally saying, hey, look, okay, these guys are loud, sound like they drunk, they're looking a little bit aggressive, pushing people around. Okay,
those little nuances right there will keep you alive.
Attention to that area.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's me all day. People always, a lot of times I talk to people because I'm always scanning. They be like, why are you looking around? Well, one, because we wasn't privy to firearms in New York City and Brooklyn.
So you had to keep your head on swivel.
Damn right. That was important. Yeah. Right? You had to know everything that was going on. I'm here, loud noise.
Well, then, I got some cousins that live up in New York. They were saying back in the 80s and 90s, stabbings was real prevalent.
Absolutely. Like stabbing, slicing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Razor. Absolutely. A lot of razor work.
And believe it or not, a lot of gunplay was in New York. Right. The iron pipeline from, we had a lot of guns.
Yeah, upstate New York is the woods, boy. They different in upstate New York.
But you still got to have some situational awareness about yourself, right?
Right.
Because like I said, if you have that, sometimes you might not have to pull a firearm.
Right.
Right? How you sit, like you just said. I mean, we go to a restaurant, chances are I'm always facing the door. Like nobody's going behind me. Right. Those little small nuances can get you out of a lot of situations where you might not even have to pull a firearm.
So, I used to have people that say, man, you just crazy. Yeah. You waiting on the end of the world. And I used to say, when you was in school, did y'all do fire drills? Did the school ever burn down?
Listen, if crazy gonna keep me alive, call me crazy, bro.
Hell yeah, you know how it is.
A lot of these people, they think we gun nuts. Like everything's gun.
Well, the thing is this: since being in the gun community, I've had more gun enthusiasts be the nicest people. Yeah. Whether I'm at a training session and my gun went down, or I had a gear failure or something like that. There was not a question that somebody stepped up. Hey, man, you can use mine.
Let me give you a fun fact about this, how I got into shooting competition, bro. I used to always go to this range, and at the time, I'm learning. So one day I go at nighttime. It was like, hey, you can't use the range because we're about to shut it down because some guys running competition. Mm-hmm. So I was like, competition? I was like, do you mind if I watch? They're like, yeah, come, you can watch. So I go back there. I promise you, bro. Just me fresh out of Brooklyn, New York. It was nothing but old white men.
Yeah, that's my first experience too.
And I was like, I'm getting the hell out of here, right? Mm-hmm. So they're like, hey, bud, you here to shoot? I was like, nah, I'm just here to, watch. They're like, watch? You can shoot. I was like, nah, I don't got a rifle. Every last one of them old gentlemen pulled out their rifle. You can use this one, you can use this one, you can use this one, you can use that one. And it showed me something, like the commonality in firearms, like.
It bridged across a bunch of shit. How did you feel about that? I know that was probably, let's talk about the New York to Georgia movie. I bet you that was probably one of the number one questions moving to the South about racism.
Yeah.
Right?
So, I was told that people try to talk me out of coming down here. Like, oh, you're going to slavery and yada, yada, yada. But if I listen to everything somebody say, where would I be, right?
Right.
I do what I want to do.
And that's what I tell people all the time is I get people from all over Facebook mainly is talking about the Klan and racists and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, I'm in Georgia and I ain't seen a Klan member ever. I haven't had nobody come up to me talking about racist slurs and stuff like that. Like it doesn't happen in the South like you would think. The history books make people portray it worse than it actually is.
I mean, you see it. I'm not going
to... it's here, right? It's just like it is in any, it's racism in New York.
It's everywhere you go, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're...
What I'm saying is, if that is scaring you from moving to Georgia from New York or one of these other liberal places where you can't, that's the wrong thing to be fear of.
Only thing I'm mad at is I would have moved down here. If I knew it was like, this is sweet down here, bro, I would have did this years ago. December, I'll be here 10 years, probably would have did it 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I love it here. And I love New York. That's my home. I go there to visit often, but I would never move back.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get a lot of people a lot of my friends that came down and was just like, man, it made it hard for them to go back.
Yeah.
Because it was just a different vibe. A buddy of mine, Chris, he was from New York, and he was like, man, it's just different because Southern hospitality is real.
Yeah, and I can't have my gun on me, bro.
Yeah, well,
I be feeling naked.
He said Southern hospitality outweighs any type of racist stuff somebody could say about this state.
Yeah.
Because there are more people that are just hospitable, no matter their color.
Yeah.
Right? When you live in the South, you're going to find people that'll offer you a piece of pie,
Yeah.
a drink, or this and that, and they don't know you from shit.
Yeah.
You get up top, Ohio, my dad's family is from Indiana, Ohio, Cleveland, Dayton, my mom's family from St. Louis, East St. Louis, rough, right?
Yeah.
And, boy, they don't offer you shit.
No.
You're not finna get no sweet tea. You're not finna get no piece of pie. You're not finna get none of that shit.
Get
You're not
the
finna
hell
get
out
a rifle
they
offered.
Get the hell out their face. Get the hell out of my face.
Right? And you're not gonna get a rifle offered to you. But you know what? That happened to me at Bullseye. What's the old guy with the overalls name? The old white guy. He runs the block shoots.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's from a long time ago.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was a long time ago when he was doing that. I don't even remember how many years ago it was when they first said.
They still do that.
Yeah. Well, they had started it before I knew about it. Yeah. So, because I thought it was new, and they were like, "No, they've been doing this." Yeah. So I was in there before when they had the rifle and the pistol range split. I was in the rifle range because Ben had said, "Hey man, just go in the rifle range, shoot my pistols." Right. So I just bought some new pistols. I was in there shooting the pistols, and the old guy was in there practicing, getting ready for the lane to shut down and do
the block shoot.
The block shoot. And he said, "Hey man," he said, "Man, you shoot pretty good. You want to shoot here? It's only $12 or whatever, $8, $12, some shit like that." And I'm like, "Nah, man, He said, "No, man, come on, man, it's all good." He's like, "Listen, there's gonna be some guys in there that can just shoot the lights out, but then there's gonna be some guys in there that's brand new, just like you." He said, "For $12, it's worth a try." So I went in there, $12. Shit, it was worth the try.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And then like any issues, they were giving me tips.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to try this gun? I see you got that full size gun, or this and that. But or what my aiming point was, where I was hitting at, what it was consistently telling. They were just a wealth of knowledge right in there. Yeah. Of course, there was one little asshole in there, but at the end of the day, he was an asshole because he wasn't shooting good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that really kind of set me off into like, man, I like this.
Yeah.
This is something that works.
Also, another thing that did for me as well is it taught me my gun.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm one of those guys that every time, I don't care if I shoot 1,000 rounds or 100 rounds or 10 rounds, when I get home, I'm cleaning my gun. It's relaxing for me, bro. By doing that constantly, you start learning different parts of your gun.
Right.
Right? What makes your gun a gun, right? So that's another thing I tell people when I'm training them.
Yeah, learn your gun.
Because, I see instructors a lot of times, they'll load the gun for the person.
That makes me think about there needs to be something in the industry like that. And of course, there's training, shooting, survival gear, medic, but it really not too many locally wise. I know there's some national stuff about gun safety, but it normally goes with a course of shooting. Yeah. Not hey, bring your gun, no ammo. Yeah. We're going to show you how to break it down and clean it and put it back together.
Absolutely.
Break it down. And this whole thing, you're going to break your gun down 4 or 5 times before we're over with it.
Absolutely.
Right? Because I want you to become proficient with knowing the gun, because that's half of your accuracy or shooting or comfortability is just this gun's in and out so well, you can just break it down in a matter of 5 minutes and put it back together. You will definitely shoot that gun better.
Correct. And these are the things you should know. Malfunction happened. You should be able to clear that malfunction. If anything break, you should know immediately, all right, this one needs to be changed, right? I always tell people this. You get a lot of people, they come to the store, "Hey, do you guys clean guns?" "Yeah, what kind of gun you got?" "I got a Glock 19. Bro, why would you pay me? I'll do it for you. Don't get me wrong. But let me give you some education on how to do this. I'd rather
dunk it in a bucket of water with soap on it.
I would rather sit there while you ain't got to. I will take it. I will show you how to do this, so you never need me again. Because again, these are the things in the field. We're not going to be there. Yeah. When your gun go click instead of bang, what do you do now? Yep. These are the things that should be taught.
Throw that motherfucker.
Right. I'm not loading your gun for you.
Yeah.
Learn how to load your gun. Mm-hmm. Learn how to load your gun.
So, do you implement? We're talking back on training. I know we're jumping back and forth, but do you implement any type of snap caps in the training?
No.
As well, no. Like malfunctions, clear malfunctions, things like that.
I at some point, sometimes I say to myself, I am, but I like to, because I spend so much time in the safety aspect of it. And then we go straight to shooting, but that's important though. Snap caps is important.
What about reloads?
No, not really, not really, because
So advanced, I would say that. Yeah, you're talking novice,
right?
Yeah.
And we're talking about inside the gun range, like where you reload it from, and also too, I kind of like to be practical, bro. Like how many times you ever seen in a gunfight somebody reloading? Right now, the reload for me is if I have a malfunction, there's the magazine coming out first. So I'm getting the magazine out, I'm getting a fresh one in. Right. I understand that one, but I think people have these dream scenarios where, if you had to have a gunfight, it's a long drawn out. You slide lock back, you drop a magazine, put another one in, another 16 rounds, 15 rounds go, and it just. Those things don't happen, so I try not to overload, especially new shooters. Maybe if you know what you're doing, if you experience it, but new shooters, I don't want to. Sensory overload happens a lot of times. Half of them already jumping because they're hearing noises, and it's like, all right, let me just keep them focused on the safety and trigger manipulation and front sight focus.
That's why I really started bringing people in to train on a Sunday, or in an early morning on a weekday when nobody's there. Because that helps tremendously.
Oh, yeah. Sunday is the worst day to step foot in the gun range.
As soon as they open up.
Bro.
Every time I go, as soon as they open up.
Bullseye from 12 to 7 will be packed.
Really?
I would never shoot on it. Me, myself, I would never come to a gun range on Sunday.
Wow. Nope. Well, I guess the one times I do come on Sunday, they've been free. I've been happy I didn't skip that bullshit.
Yeah.
But there are times, ladies and gentlemen, I'm finicky. So I'll come in. If it's loaded up in there, I'm not shooting. I could have brought 5, 6 different guns and rifles to shoot. But if them lanes and ain't but 2 open, for me, it's just not conducive. Yeah. Right? I'd rather 5 people, halfway filled or whatever, I'm with that. But when it gets to the point where it seems so busy that, and it's not nothing about safety or nobody being safe, because there's an RSO, right? So it's just about the ants, the moving around, the paper, the noise, the talking, all this other stuff. And it might be me just being finicky, them talking about dumb shit. And
the guy with the 7-inch AR pistol just blaring away.
Yeah. Well, and to me, I think it kicks in my inner instructor where I want to stop and go tell him, hey Dick, you're obviously Swiss cheesing this paper, man. Do this, do that, do that. Hey Dick, quit shooting this fucking AR. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're at 5 yards with an AR. Send it on out there or something. Or, hey, dickhead, you don't have a sight on this motherfucker, man. Go back in there and tell him to sell your sight. Right?
The instructor and me want to get the hell out of there. I don't wait for these crazy
and I think that's where I get to, like, I hear it and I start seeing the results, and I'm so anal about it that I want to go do that. And I'm like, nah, let me go on and get out of here.
Yeah, that's me.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to end up, talking to somebody, telling somebody, and there's always somebody who's got the old 84 military style grip, swearing he's got the everything
cup and
out
salsa.
Right, yeah, man, shit.
Or you got the young guy down there with his girlfriend showing off, and he just tearing the ceiling apart.
Oh yeah.
To her, he's John Wick. To us, he looked like a damn fool. You ain't hit nothing, bro.
Like a damn fool.
You ain't hit nothing.
So I segue into, how can I put this? People who overbuy, right? And I'm not talking about quantity. I'm talking about this gun is way past your skill set.
Yeah, but that go back to buying skills.
Yeah.
That go back to buying skills.
Yeah, you're right.
People it's like the old thing in basketball.
Well, I'm just saying this. You and I love staccato.
Correct.
Right?
Diminishing returns? Is that what you're asking me? Is it a point for diminishing returns?
Right, yeah.
As far as...
So you're coming in to spend $2,500, $3,000 on a gun that you're not going to get to a level where you can actually run this gun like it's supposed to be run. You see what I'm saying? Like, for me, or let's say we ask this question better as, how about this? You get a staccato with 100 rounds or a Glock with 3,000 rounds.
What are you taking? You asking me?
Yeah.
I'm taking the staccato. But I'm going to tell you why. Because I can shoot. If I was new to this, then I'd probably go to 3,000 rounds with the Glock.
Right.
But at my skill level...
Because I'm always a guy that says, hey, man, listen, I'd rather you... First, let me know your budget. Yeah. Because then I can give you... There are... I won't say great. They're still great, I guess, in that category. Right? 350 and under, let's call it.
Whew.
I understand that, but there's definitely shit better than a High Point. There's definitely shit better than a Sky. There's definitely shit out there that's better. Like, doesn't the IWI Masada, that's in that range, like 3 and some change, 400?
Like 379.
Yeah, it's close enough, right? But that's a decent gun for that price point. And I would put it above the High Point, the Sky.
Oh, absolutely.
The Taurus.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to think of another gun manufacturer that's down in that 350.
Ruger.
Rock Island has
Ruger.
a couple of things, right? Ruger, yeah.
Ruger.
What, the SR9 or the Security 9 or something like that? That's in that range. Like that. That's a reputable gun manufacturer at that price range, right?
Correct.
Now, of course, I'm more of a Ruger guy with their 1022s, with their Mark IVs and stuff like that, above anything else. But those are sufficient, right? And then that range kind of skips from the $400 to $600-700 range, which involves your Glocks, your Smitties, your
SIGs,
SIGs, some of your CZs now.
Some of your HKs.
Yep, some of your HKs now. So you can, that next level opens you up to a lot of great guns.
Absolutely.
Right? But in that first, and I know you don't want to talk about it because it's 350 and under, that first one, you have those guns we just mentioned out there. Which one is the first one you pushing? Customer walks in and says, man, I only got $350 to spend.
$350? All right. So, I'm a salesman.
You're trying to think
No, I already got my answer. I'm a salesman. So, I'm always, I'm quality first.
Right.
So, if you buying this gun because you just need something, we could work with that. But this is what I would tell you first. Is it possible that you could take that $350 and let's say put a Glock 19 on layaway?
Good idea, good thought.
Because it's important, right? This is the firearm that you. All right, if I had to do that, I would do a Glock a Glock 42, a 380, about 349, right? Just to answer the question, I would do a Glock 42. But if I'm pushing, if it's a Taurus or one of these lower tier guns, I would say put something on layaway and buy something of quality. Right. And I'm not saying those other guns are not quality, but we know what it is.
My only gripe with those guns is you're not going to get a return on your money. Because you're going to buy more than once and you're going to cry more than once, right? So I really think because you're going to spend $300 on a gun that you'll never get $100 back out of.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, no. You all right? Go ahead. We let phone calls pop off in these podcasts. We don't give a shit. This is everyday shit. And we get to cut it out anyway. It doesn't matter, right? So in that price point, right, the $350 and below, because I thought you was going to get on when you talked about put something on layaway. I thought you was going to get on me. I would say, man, I really don't want to sell you a gun unless you can afford the gun and some ammo to go with it, right? Because how many times have you seen somebody come buy a gun and don't buy no ammo with it?
Oh, they're like, I already got bullets.
Yeah, no, they ain't got no bullets.
You didn't even know what caliber it was.
Right.
You purchased this gun, now you got fair enough.
Because I'm saying this. You're right. If they've got the gun plus a little money for ammo, put something on layaway. Especially if you have the ability to come back within some weeks.
Correct.
A couple of weeks. Now, if you're 3 months, there are some people out there that $350 is really all they got.
No, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And
they're looking for some protection because they might think, hey, I'm working in Decatur or something like that, and I just need something, man, because I done got scared.
I'll work with you. For that price point, you're going to get the best option that I possibly have at that moment. Right? I'm not going to just be like, oh, you got $350, let me just sell them anything.
So now at that, good question to follow up on that. So in that price range, if $350 is their limit, are you going to try to get them the best quality, or are you going to try to get them whatever gun you can get them, plus they can spend that little $50 on ammo to go with the gun?
I'm probably going to try to get them the best quality. Because to me, the quality of the firearm matter. Mm-hmm. Like we say, I keep name dropping Glock, but obviously Glocks work, right? So if let's just say the entry into a Glock is the 42 and that's $349, right?
Right.
Get that. Then you can come back for the ammo.
Right.
And now if you're in the crunch, then what you going to drop down to G2C, G3, maybe they like $329, and you get a box of ammo.
Right.
But you're right though. If you don't have, again, I don't want to talk down on nobody because like you said, that $350 might be, and I've been there before when it's all you had. Mm-hmm. But I'm still going to try to get you the best quality firearm.
Okay.
You're going to have to deal with the ammo. You might have to double back for that. But I'm going to try to get you the best firearm that I have currently.
Right. Because my thing was the mid-tier, what we talked about, that 450 to 750, there's a lot of good guns.
Oh yeah, you golden right there. I tell people this all the time. For you to get a quality firearm, now 500, start at 500.
Yeah.
Anything above that, you good. Because like I said, now you're getting into the Smith & Wessons, the 2.0s. You're getting into some of the 6 hours, some of the 320s. You're getting into some of the Glock. You could get maybe a Springfield XDM. You know, like, so you could get a quality gun for $500.
Right.
But if you're like me, just get a staccato.
Where do you think the breaking point is as to say, okay, this little area here, it's really not much to offer. You really got to skip to the next section. So, like, is that the 8 to 1200 or the
No.
7 to something in there to where you might as well go ahead and get a staccato for 2500 if you're going to spend 1600 on a Springfield 45, the Rapide or whatever.
No, the reason why I say that is because you got, you got SIG fanboys. If you got the 6 hours, the Legions, the X5 Legions.
Yeah.
They 12.
Yeah.
Right. Then SIG, they got a lot of different 320s in that category, that price point. The 12, the 899, 12, 13, 14. You got some of the Zevs now that's in that price point. So there's some stuff to be had there. Now when you start going over that, when you start getting 17, 18, yeah, go get your staccato.
Yeah. You get to that $600-700 difference point.
Yeah, go grab a staccato.
Put that fucker on layaway and come back.
Yeah, go grab a staccato.
Yeah, right.
Go get you a C2 or go get you a P, or if you can spring it, get you an XE, because everybody want the XE anyway. I purchased the P, sold it, purchased the C2 because I really wanted. Then I had the XL. And I'm like, let me just get the
Yeah,
so,
right.
So
is there a magic threshold that you know in the gun industry that says, hey, after this price point, man, everything's fixing to be fucking crazy. So, like, for me, it's about 1500. So at about 1500 and up, you finna get some lights out shit.
Yeah.
The CZTS2s,
Yeah.
the Acu Shadows, you know what I'm saying? In that general range, you fixing to get a gun that can run with the staccatos and the Atlases and stuff. Not saying 100%, but it can hold its own.
Yeah.
Right?
By no means am I saying staccato because like that's the end all be all. Because I went to classes when I had a Erebus, and I seen guys running 34s, and you couldn't hold a candle to these guys.
Right.
It's the shoot at the end of the day. The gun helps.
Yeah.
But you still got to have a skill set. Right?
Yeah.
So for me, the $2,500 sweet spot and up, you buy lights out. CZs, the 17, 18, 19s. To me, they're kind of like more like the SIG X5 Legions and those price points. I still think I would stretch it and I would get a staccato.
Right.
Unless you just love CZs and that's what you want, but it's a difference.
Yeah.
It's a difference.
Well, and that was my thing was I can tell a clear-cut difference between my let's go CZ between my TS2 and my Dan Wesson DWX.
Yes.
There's a night-day difference.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
The trigger system in the DWX is way different, whatever like that. So what I'm saying is my price point jump from whatever that I paid for that CZTS2 $1,500-1,600
right.
to the 2,100.
Yeah.
That 4 or 5, it's a noticeable.
Oh yeah,
difference,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely,
And
it should be.
Yeah.
And it should be.
Yeah, and because for me, I know I'd come into the shop and joking kid about some shit that's got a price on it. I'm like, fuck, does it come with a TV?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at that point, I'm trying to, and here's the hindrance I think that comes to a lot of people is it's hard once you become proficient with a Glock 34 that's tricked out or 17 that's tricked out, and you can shoot lights out with it. It's hard to bring yourself to spend $4,000 or $5,000 on a gun because somebody tells you it's super accurate. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I got a question for you.
Yep.
Because you purchased a lot of firearms from me. What's your price point? Where's your spot where you say, hell no, I'm not spending that amount? Because I know some of your collection, bro. So you got to be honest with the people right now.
My price point is
on a handgun. We're not even talking about the AR platform, on a handgun.
I would say right there where the Atlases kind of end in that 550, 500. There's some 6,000s out there.
So let's just say
I think what's the
Sand Viper, the Pit Vipers, they the 7,000.
They novelty guns to me.
Yeah.
Right. because you're only buying a gun because it looks like something somebody used in a movie. That it's kind of like a Terran Tactical, which is the Sam Viper, the base plates. Yeah. At the end of the day, if I'm spending $50 on a base plate, it's going to be the same thing as if I'm buying an Atlas or whatever like that. Now, Sam Viper, for me at that price point, boy, am I fitting to get the same warranty I got on my fucking Atlas? Or even Staccato at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you have a big enough factory who's making these motherfuckers to where I know if I have a problem with my shit, I'm sending it off?
I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I don't have a limit. I'll spend... But for me, it's not...
Well, and I'm going to say, to finish, like you say, I really don't have a limit depending on the pistol. Yeah. So if it's a $10,000 gun that I know for a fact either A, boy, down the road, I can sell it for $15,000. There you go. Or get my original $10,000 out, no issue. Yeah. Automatic. Yeah. Right? Collector's item, like, man, I got shit from period war pieces all the way up to newfound John Wick looking shit, all that stuff there, but... And I was, at one point, honestly, I was just buying. Yeah. But then it got to a point where, okay, I'm making favorable purchases more than buying. Yeah. Right? I'm buying the Rock Island 5.0 because there's only, like, they're supposed to have been making $300 a month, and there's still only like $150 on the market, period. Right? So at the end of the day, that little $1,000 I spent is up to about $2,000. I got somebody offer me $1,800 just a couple weeks ago. So, like, or the DWX and getting things. Be the first of 20 in the United States to have it, or the first of 50 to have the DWX. You know what I'm saying? Those are the kind of things that kind of drive my purchases now. Yeah. Because it's something that, okay, well, yeah, you might got one now, but you ain't got one of the first 20 that left out the fucking factory. Yeah. This is different, right?
So at what point is it a diminishing returns for you? And I say that because I can't tell you I shoot my Atlas better than I shoot my Staccato.
I can't tell you the same thing either.
Right, you know.
Right.
And so people on the internet want you to believe
that's what I was getting to.
This shoots 10 times better and faster and flatter than say XC. I shoot, he shoots, we all shoot. It doesn't.
So like this, I say like this. I shoot the shit out of this gun, right? But my kitted out Glock 17, I'll destroy it. I mean, it's just fucking this night and day difference, right? I'll destroy it. Two totally different price points. Yeah. Way far apart. But it comes to a point now, you talk about the skill set. It comes to a point now the skill set has superseded the gun. Right. Right? Right. Whereas you might have someone who's closer on the novice end, that the Staccato would actually help them get better. Correct. Or the Atlas would actually make them better because of the low recoil and
lighter
the weight of the gun.
The lighter, a little accurate.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's really helping you. At this point, you give me 5 minutes and I don't give a fuck if it's a high point. I'll knock fucking holes in the bullseye.
So if you got a new shooter, if you're training, do you start them on something like this, or do you put them at something where, like, let's just say a Glock or any HK VP9? Because I'm a believer of this. I'm not starting you at this price point. I mean, I'm not starting you at this platform. No. Because it's almost like cheating. Yeah. Right? It is. So now you take this. This is an easier gun to shoot. So that's what separates this gun from some of the other guns. They're easier to shoot.
Here's what I do. I bring a 22 to a session. If they don't have a gun, or even if they got the gun, I'll bring a 22. I'll bring the parent to that 22, which is whatever it is, whether it's a Glock 44 and a Glock 19 or 17, whatever. And then I'll bring something in 45. Okay. Because I'm almost guaranteed that the people who say that, 45 kick too much, it's recoil, not kick. Mules fucking kick. Okay? Have never shot one, and they don't realize that the weight to powder ratio in a 45, it actually shoots a lot flatter than a 9mm because they're mostly polymer.
Fun fact, I don't own one 45.
Shit, fun fact, I got plenty enough for us to shoot and you ain't got to own one.
I'm a 9mm guy.
Yeah, and I was the same way for a while, but it was only because of capacity. I did not like 45s in the single stack version. I still come into the fucking shop every time and be like, man, these goddamn single stacks got to go. Yeah. You know, and it's just because of the 8 rounds, and you could get extended magazines or whatever, but that just wasn't my forte. And like I said, that Remington R1 was the first 1911 double stack that I had known because Staccato, Atlas, and stuff, and it was STI back then. STI. Right? Had just came out. Yeah. So this was the 1911 competitive end to it, right? And it was like, oh man, 15 rounds of 45.
Yeah, 45.
Boy, I was carrying that big brick of a fucking gun for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And it was just
still
like,
carry.
yeah, and I was like, oh no, I can't do it.
10-pound
My
gun.
belts was all folded in that one section where it was
Absolutely.
hanging. Yeah,
Absolutely.
So it got to a point where I was like, man, okay. But then I got into the Atlas, the Staccato, these 2011s, and it was like, I see what they like about it.
Yeah.
It's the same as my 45s, but less weight.
Yeah.
Still shoots flat. Yeah. The 9mm with the long barrel with the 5.5-inch barrel, for the most part, 5-inch, 5.5-inch barrel. 9mm to me loves a 5-inch barrel as far as recoil wise.
Yeah. That's that sweet spot.
Yeah, that's that sweet spot. Anything shorter than that, I think really 5.5 is really nice. 6 is a little too much. It gets a little nose heavy, whatever. But 5.5, between 5.5, 5.25, somewhere in there, man, you can shoot the shit out of a 9mm.
You running out the door right now. What handgun are you grabbing?
Running out the door right now.
Shit just kicked off outside. What gun are you grabbing?